and we're back. This is the great classic movie debate. I'm Kenny.
I'm Paul.
I'm Steve.
Yeah, so we try to keep it interesting. We talk anything and everything about movies. If you happen to be watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. We will love you for that. And please check out our sister channel, The Great Classic Rock Debate. Been around a little longer over there, but we think they're both pretty interesting. So what I wanted to ask you guys tonight, just to open things up, you guys are familiar with that website called RottenTomatoes.com, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I first discovered that website in, I don't know, 1999 or 2000, something like that, long time ago. And over the years, with a few exceptions, I have found it to be a very accurate predictor of the ultimate quality of the movie, okay? And I'm mentioning this because the way they do the scoring is as follows. The critics that they poll, and that number changes all the time. It used to be like 40 or 50, and I think it's probably well over 100 now. The critics that they poll limit their contribution as far as the movie to a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either you like the movie or you don't like the movie. There's no 1 to 10 scale with each individual critic's reviews. It's either a favorable or not favorable review. Okay, so when you see movies on Rotten Tomatoes that got like a 90%, that means 90% of the critics liked the movie, gave it a favorable review. And Rotten Tomatoes uses 60% as their cutoff. So if it gets 59 or less, that's considered a Rotten Tomato. 60 or above is considered a fresh tomato, okay? And again, for me, over a period of 20 years, it's turned out to be a pretty accurate predictor. However, the big catch with this particular system of scoring is this. Let's just say you've got, let's just for simplicity, let's say you got 10 guys, 10 movie critics. And you show them a movie and you say, either you like it or you dislike it, but there's no 1 to 10. And they all look at it and they go, well, I don't love it, but I don't dislike it, so I guess I like it. That's one of the things. It doesn't mean it's a great movie. It just means if you weigh out the like versus dislike, I didn't dislike it, so I guess I like it, even though it's not my thing. So if all 10 critics answered with that, the movie would get 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, which would mislead you into thinking this is Oscar material, when in fact it's not. It just means all the critics agreed that it was favorable. All right. I'm bringing this up because I think this mentality sort of applies to Creed 3, which I just saw this past week. I like the movie, but that's it. It's a very linear. There's no plot twists or turns. There's no surprises. You got a good guy and a bad guy. And guess what? The good guy triumphs in the end. So the story was decent enough, and the acting I thought was very good, you know. But so when the movie was over, if I had to give it one or the other, I'd give it a thumbs up. But it got like a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wonder why.
Well, it had me thinking, man, this is going to be. But when I watched it, I go, it's not. It's not.
Meh.
Right. Exactly. So,
Did you see it, Paul?
No. Did you see it, Steve?
Yeah. I saw it opening
Yeah.
night.
1 to 10, Steve.
I give it a 7.5, 8.
I would have said 7. I would have said 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good, actually.
No, listen.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, all I was to say is I thought it was a good movie and I enjoyed it. And audiences love those kind of movies because you get a lot of action and a lot of I was inspired after watching Creed to go back and watch again Rocky Balboa, a movie I love, but I probably would score it about the same, you know. But it's still, you just get caught up in the action and the emotion of it or whatever, and you walk out with your heart racing, and it was great. But is it a great movie? No. But
is it a Rocky 2? Is it? I mean, is it anywhere near Rocky 2?
It's for me, it's a Rocky 2, maybe Rocky 3.
All right,
Rocky
so
4
that,
is the best one.
oh, is that okay? Kenny, who's your favorite Rocky movie?
Well, let me say that Rocky 3 is a good comparison for this one because the bad guy in this movie, you could
It's-
certainly analogize Clubber Lang.
Yes.
You know, he's
In fact,
built and he's a badass. He is.
he looks like Mike Tyson in his prime, and I kind of
does.
wish that they would have used Clubber Lang like
Like Clubber Lang's son.
Clubber Lang's son.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that plot mechanism never gets old.
Exactly.
Right. But I've only seen this guy, the actor, whatever his name is. I've only seen him
Jonathan
on
Majors.
Army commercials. I didn't know he looked like that with his shirt off.
He's-
I went, whoa.
Because Steve saw him in Ant-Man Quantumania, which I've not seen yet.
Yeah.
I
And
haven't
He's
seen
the
it.
bad guy.
So let me say just a real quick word on both of those movies. Well, at least I know Ant-Man Quantumania has got like a lot of, I don't think it did well with the critics. It was kind of a box office disappointment.
True.
But
Yeah.
for me, I thought that Jonathan Majors as Kang in Quantumania, I didn't know anything about, I'm not a Marvel comic reader.
Okay,
I don't
me
know
neither,
about
yeah.
comics. But I watched the movie and I thought, God, this is like one of the best villains, if not the best villain in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then I didn't know much about Creed 3 when I went to go see it. And I was like, I think that's the same guy from Ant-Man. And it was.
Jonathan
I'm like,
Majors.
that guy's, Jonathan Majors, phenomenal actor in both of those roles, two
Yeah.
completely different characters. And
Oh,
then
really?
as soon as that movie came out, he kind of got in some trouble. So I don't know much about that, but
They
Okay.
beat the shit out of somebody, supposedly.
Okay. Well, he's
I didn't do it, he
good
did.
in Creed 3. He's memorable in Creed 3.
yes, he is.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
he's fantastic in Creed 3. He's
Was he-
fantastic in Ant-Man.
Was he better than Mr. T?
You know, this is the problem that I would say no, but I think this is the problem that the Creed movies have is they're in the shadow of the Rocky movies,
Right.
Yes.
but they can still stand on their own, and that's what I really appreciated about Creed 3 is it didn't feel like the Creed series actually did more to bring Rocky back as
Right.
because Rocky 5 kind of ruined him, and I think
Right.
the Creed franchise kind of brought him back to where we wanted to see Rocky.
I agree.
And the Creed in Creed 3, Stallone's not in it, but it can stand on its own. And
Yeah.
the cinematography and it's great. I saw it in IMAX because there were certain
Oh.
scenes that were shot specifically for IMAX, and it looks amazing. It feels like you're in the ring during some of
Oh,
the,
wow.
especially the final fight. So if you haven't seen it, if you get a chance to see it on IMAX, I have highly
Okay.
recommend it. It's really
All
I
right.
good.
haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So
It's not
quickly,
it's not groundbreaking. It's a solid Rocky type movie.
okay. So quickly now, I'm going to go back to Paul's question. He said, which is your favorite? So I'm going to answer you like this. All right. The best of the bunch is the first one. Okay. The character didn't exist and he comes to the screen, Rocky and Apollo Creed, just, it's 50-50. And it was just a great movie, man. I loved it. I never get tired of it. Okay. Moving forward, as far as the one that delivered the best experience sitting in the movie theater and watching it, Rocky 4 with Drago, because and I hated the ending when the Soviet crowd is chanting Rocky, Rocky. I hated it. Okay, but in the fight itself, and he's getting mauled, and when he hits him with that big shot that backs him up, and he's bleeding, dude. I mean, that was an adrenaline rush like you almost can't get in a movie, but I got it. I mean, it was surreal. It was surreal. It really was.
Plus you have to admit, again, like we were talking about on the other show, it's a political moment. We're in the middle of the Cold War, and and that's why that was so poignant. Steve, what's your favorite Rocky movie?
Well, the best one is the first one. Obviously, I think that's Academy Award worthy, and Stallone gives a great performance in it. But I mean, personally, Rocky 4, and I'm I just want to say, like, they just came out on 4K, and Rocky 4,
Oh, wow.
Rocky 4 actually has, which I haven't watched yet, has a director's cut version of it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so there's some additional footage. I think the fight's a little bit longer. I just got this about a week or two ago, so I haven't had a chance
awesome.
to watch it. But yeah, I listen to in my headphones the Rocky soundtrack and all the time. And
Oh my God.
here's something interesting. I heard somebody comment the other day that Apollo Creed is I love Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
But in reality, he's probably the worst fighter that was around it, because if you think about it, he kind of tied. He won by a split decision to Rocky, a no-name guy.
Right.
The second time he fights him, he loses. then,
He gets killed.
then he gets killed in the ring. So
Never thought of it from that angle. Yeah.
Yeah, he.
we never
all right,
actually saw him really dominate or win a fight.
Well, my favorite Rocky movie, and you got to set apart Rocky and Bullwinkle. I'm gonna go with you guys and say Rocky 4. Yeah, it's good. I mean, but the size differential. I mean, Dolph Lundgren is a big man.
Do you remember Paul? Yeah, he's huge. Do you remember? We saw that together. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember where?
No. Cross
Beach
County.
Mall.
No.
Palm Beach Mall. And I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was the Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. I'm almost positive it was. Yeah.
Yeah. You have good memory.
I mean, just the movie was so memorable and we loved it. I mean, we loved it. We were kids. We were in our 20s, I guess. But yeah.
It was funny because
Yeah, real good.
Real
I had the soundtrack. I mean, it had James Brown on there, Survivor.
Living in America. Yeah. It was funny. Was Kenny was Mr. Heavyweight West Palm Beach 84, 85? 85. So
as a bodybuilder, right?
As a bodybuilder. Yeah. And so when this movie comes out, Dolph was probably on a little enhancements.
Yeah, probably. Right. Yeah.
And so
I'm sure Stallone was too.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But no, it was just funny to see Kenny sitting right next to me, this big muscle-bound guy, Kenny, my big brother, and to see this guy up on screen, and you're like, you're cheating up there, dude.
Yeah.
But, hey, so one of the shows, not today, we just talking about the best, not soundtrack, but best song to the movie. We could have that. That'll be fun.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Let's do that next time. All right. But yeah, that song, now hold it, was Gonna Fly Now from Rocky 1 getting strong now?
Correct.
Yeah.
They've probably used it in all of them, but yes, it originated in Rocky.
Yeah.
That song is like, that could be the greatest song for a movie ever. I mean, it really could be.
Can't argue. Yeah.
And a lot of people, I have that record as well, the actual record.
Vinyl.
From the first one and the fourth one.
Oh, wow.
On vinyl. But I would say, what's Stallone's brother? Frank Stallone?
Yeah.
He's got a great voice, and he also sings a track. It's I think it's Take You Back or Take Me Back. I think it's Take You Back. It's a song that they're singing
from Rocky 1
in Rocky 1.
It's kind of like a street corner.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those kind of songs. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe a little doo-woppy, but if you listen to the song, I mean, he's got a great voice. It's a good song.
Okay.
Stallone sings one of those, I'm gonna fly now, I'm gonna strong now, I'm gonna fly now. Sorry.
And just so if we ever get Stallone on the show, he is my favorite action hero. Like the Rambo and Rocky series are hands down 2 of the top 10.
They are, yeah. Yeah.
I think John Wick is slowly passing that up, but
could be.
The Rambo, man, is really good.
It's the quintessential like 80s franchise when you had big muscle bound guys.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of myself.
One thing I will say about Rambo 1 and 2, there's no CGI. So everything you see there, they shot it.
And 3.
Yeah, okay. I think I only seen
all
that movie
5
once. But John Wick, there's CGI, so that makes a difference. So I think much respect for Rambo, much.
When he blows that guy up with the RPG or it's the explosive arrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now when they're preparing him to go on this mission, they give him nuclear tipped bow and arrow and then say, Rambo, don't forget, we just want you to take pictures.
I don't even think they gave him a camera.
Right. Just take pictures. Nuclear tipped arrows. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we get the win this time? Yeah, that's what I want to know. So
All right. Well, do you guys want to stay on Stallone, Rambo,
yeah, that's
Rocky?
all right. So
Wait,
Setting
stay on
aside-
whatever you want. Creed.
setting aside Rambo and Rocky, what is Stallone's best movie? Setting those two aside, so I'm taking them off the table.
You're taking
Okay.
Nighthawks. Did you say you're taking Nighthawks?
That's my number one right there.
I know that's your
By
number
far.
one.
I'd
I
probably-
enjoy
Go ahead, Steve.
Cliffhanger. That's not. I don't know if that's my number one, but go ahead, Kenny. I'll let you go. Let me think
Well,
about this.
okay. Well, I would certainly probably go along with Nighthawks, but I have to tell you that Copland was really good.
Oh,
Really good. I mean, I went in not knowing much about it. A couple of people said it was pretty good. I didn't hear anything to blow me away, but I thought that movie was fantastic. Really was.
Stallone should
And for
have gotten
for
an award.
Stallone gaining all this weight and playing a different character, not playing the same guy over and over again. But really good
It
movie.
was- oh my god, yeah.
I was a big fan of Rhinestone or Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And don't laugh, because
Right.
Arnold has his moments too.
That's
Oh.
true. Yeah.
But yeah, you can't. They all can't be hits. They all, and you gotta. Even if you take a hit, hey, you try to do this movie with Estelle Getty, and it was terrible. So now I got to go back to doing Cobra. It's gonna be my next movie. I can't remember if that was.
Cobra's badass, man.
I didn't like it.
I just said you got to go back to Cobra.
No,
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Kenny?
Yeah, I saw it in the
saw the
movie
trailer,
theater.
yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was very cliched, and
I thought it was so funny at the opening sequence when that guy's in the grocery store
right.
and he's like, "I'll kill them all, man," and Stallone just goes, or he's like, "I'll blow this whole store up." And he's like, "Go ahead, I don't shop here."
Right. Right.
It's so funny. And the car he had in that movie was awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's some cool stuff about it. For me,
Right, trying
overall,
to
I
think
had.
what. Did you ever see that movie Oscar that he was in?
I never saw it. No.
It was
Never
actually
saw
not bad. It was a comedy, and he plays the dad of this girl who's going to get married. It was actually not bad. It was what
Now
are the
that
movies?
What about you mentioned Rhinestone? Was Ron Liebman in that?
It's Dolly Parton,
Dolly Parton.
where he becomes a country singer.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I thought that Ron Liebman was in one of those.
he might have
movies.
been in it. I don't know. I don't think I ever saw it.
I saw it like
I didn't.
in the hotel room in Tampa Bay.
I was hoping she'd have a wardrobe malfunction. Those giant boobs would fly out, but no, it didn't happen. Damn.
I just remember they tried to get him to sing country, and they're like, "Don't you know any country songs?" And he's like, "Yeah, Old MacDonald had a farm." That's all I remember.
That's a country song.
Can't say that I never saw it. I'm sure I never saw it. Yeah.
It's not an
What are
action movie. Yeah, it's a comedy.
Now, what about the Judge Dredd? Wasn't bad,
I liked it.
and Demolition Man wasn't bad.
It's okay.
I would give both on a scale of 1 to 10. I would give both of those a 4. I didn't
Fair
hate
enough.
it, but I've never wanted to see it again. either
Yeah,
way.
I saw it once in a theater. I do like Cliffhanger though. That's probably my favorite of non-Rocky, non-Rambo series.
And wasn't John Lithgow in that?
Yes,
Yeah,
he was
he
the
was.
bad guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
Yeah,
It's
What was I
actually
gonna
it
say?
bothers me because they're supposed to be in the Rockies and they shot a lot of it
Dolomites.
in the Dolomites, and that bothered me. But
Oh.
aside from that,
I did my honeymoon there in the northern Italy in those mountains. They're beautiful, by the way. So you ever get a chance to go there, northern Italy, southern Austria. The Dolomites are straight up mountains. They're not like this little straight up. We went to see it, right? So it's like
Expendables is good too.
Oh yeah, see,
Which one?
The Expendables series.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
those are
like-
good. Those
I
are
mean,
those are a good example of a movie that deliver exactly what they're supposed to deliver, nothing more, nothing less. They're good, but they're not trying to be Oscar material. They're not trying to be anything other than action, adventure, violent, and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. Did you guys ever see Escape Plan, the movie with him and Arnold?
Yes. Yes. I liked
It's
it.
kind of
I mean,
disappointing. It's not a bad movie. It's kind of forgettable. It's just a shame that it took them that long to make a movie with both of them in it. And that came out probably about 10 years ago or so.
Wow.
it's the
I
only
didn't see
movie
it.
where I ever heard Arnold speaking actual German. He speaks a lot of German in the movie.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never heard him.
It's not a bad movie. It's just, it's kind of there. And again, the part of it takes place in Colorado, or supposed to. Stallone plays kind of an expert in prison security, and he gets into Supermax and kind of breaks out as he's testing the
And then they're doing it. They
facility.
take him to these black sites. Like he's actually ended up on a tanker in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean. You can't tell that he's you don't know where you think you're in a landlocked prison, but you're actually on a
Right.
boat. The other movie, Stallone movie, which is I really like it, and it gives a cloudy but pretty true view, is called Fist,
Oh yeah.
Federation of Interstate Truckers.
Right.
It shows in the Hollywood way, but I know a lot of this happened, how the corporate big cats back then would beat up and kill and torture the workers, and they got sick of it, and so they went to the only place they could go for help was to mom.
Right.
And mom
So
says,
wasn't
"Hey,
it sort of
cool."
based on Jimmy Hoffa?
It's exactly based on Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's basically playing Jimmy Hoffa,
Right.
and they show how, and the mom said, "Hey, we'll help you. Just give us your pension funds." And they didn't have a choice. Like, okay. And then, yeah, so it's a really good movie. If you want to look a basic primer for the mob movement, how they merged with the labor movement, this is how it happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies I've seen part of, but I never saw the whole thing.
It's worth watching. You know, if you
Yeah.
want to
Okay.
see.
Stallone
Before
was
they
one
had-
of those actors that I think he was, as great of an action star he was, I think he really would have excelled at a lot of the more dramatic roles had he been given the opportunity for, like movies like Nighthawks and Fist, I think are good examples where,
Yeah.
and Copland, which I was not a big fan of Copland, but I think if he was given more of those opportunities, I think he would have made some really good, kind of more dramatic.
Yeah.
Because I
So-
think he was kind of at some point an insecure guy, because they edited the crap out of Nighthawks. I heard they cut out 30 or 40 minutes of
Wow.
Nighthawks because he thought that Rutger Hauer was overpowering him,
Oh yeah. I think you told me that. Yeah.
and so Stallone evidently trimmed it down to where there's just like this, like a borderline psychopath. You don't see anything about him. You don't see any depth to him, And
Too
so
bad.
I still love Nighthawks. I think it's my favorite Stallone movie. I'm just saying, it's just.
I wonder if there's a like a longer cut of that.
No, I think it all. What an actor has to realize: if you have another great actor, he's going to make you better. You can't just sit
Right.
there and go, "Oh my god," And Rutger Hauer is like, I mean,
Okay, what about this movie? I do not recall the name of it. Stallone movie. I'm thinking about 89. He's in prison, and I think Donald Sutherland is the warden.
Tango and
And he-
Cash.
What is it?
Jack Palance is I think. Well, no, Jack Palance is the bad guy. Or are you thinking of Lockup?
Lock Up. That's it. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I can't remember watching it. I know I probably did. I just can't remember.
Yeah, I saw it. I remember seeing. Actually, I saw it on TV, so I'm sure I saw the edited version. And I think,
Okay.
if my memory is correct, that they shot that at the same prison where they shot Shawshank Redemption, which is my hometown.
Oh, could
But
be.
it seems like everybody rails about. They always bring up Shawshank and never mention
Right.
Lockup.
Right.
I want to point out Steve has intentionally or unintentionally forgotten his favorite Stallone movie, and I'm going to tell it to him now. It's called Over the Top.
What? No, I saw that.
Oh, the arm wrestling movie.
Yeah,
I do love Over the Top.
I know you do.
I never saw it.
Steve and I parodied that movie on one of our old TV shows that we had, and like Steve and I are arm wrestling, and the guys, "What are you doing?" And Steve says, "We're arm wrestling over the custody of a child."
Which actually ended up being the dog. Yeah, you're right. Donald Sutherland was the warden in
Yeah.
Lock.
And he's a psycho, and his life exists for one reason, and that's to torture and inflict misery on Stallone. That's like, that's the whole premise of the
Why?
movie.
Just because he's there, or just because?
They got some kind of history together. I don't remember, but
Okay.
I don't know. Look, it was a long time ago when I saw it, but I walked out thinking that's not one of Stallone's better movies.
I remember seeing it on, like ABC Monday night, Sunday night movie or something in junior high.
Oh, another, I think it's a butt movie, Stallone's. You either want to take a guess at it? Oh, he actually had two. It's one where he's Lords of Flatbush. That's his Dave Butt movie, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
He was in that?
Yes. And the second movie he was in, where he was the bad guy, and you could tell. At first, I thought this guy's being a caricature. Death Race 2000. He was Machine Gun Joe Viterbo.
Oh, right. That's right.
And he was really good. I'm like, is this guy playing a guy? Is that like? I was like, he cannot be that much of an idiot. Like,
that's one of the funniest movies of all time.
Completely agree. What is this? A hand grenade?
It's a grenade. No, a hand grenade.
Grenade. Oh, that movie was good, and I can't remember the lady. She's a pretty famous actress who's the star, and that movie had lots of female breasts in it.
Yeah.
So it's a Roger Corman movie.
Right.
I snuck on my parents' HBO to watch this one night. Oh my God, look at those boobies. I was like 10 or 11 or 12.
Didn't we all?
Yes. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. But yeah, he was good in that movie still. And he was still a little heavy. He wasn't fat. He was so puffy, and there was he like 5'6" or something. So,
right.
It was funny because there's a scene where he fights David Carradine. So what I would have liked to see 5 years later, Kung Fu fights Rocky. That's what I wanted to see.
Well, Stallone really didn't get bulked up until it was really probably Rocky 3. Because even in the First Blood, which was what, 82?
Yeah.
He was in shape, like Rocky 2, but he wasn't, he wasn't a bodybuilder back then.
Rocky and Rocky 2, to me, he doesn't look like he's taking any steroids. He just looks like he's really done a lot of training and working out to get fit.
At the gym where Kenny trained me up for the first year or two, they had a picture of him in the back, and it had this ridiculously qualifying statement. And this guy, like Jim Wilson, says that Stallone is the strongest non-bodybuilding actor I've ever seen. And Kenny and I was like, what? It's just like gibberish. The strongest non-bodybuilding actor. I'm like, can you explain it to me?
Well, there were only how many back? You had Franco Columbo and Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the early 80s. So you only had two to pick from.
Oh, they had Peter Lupus. That was before your time, Steve.
Who?
Peter Lupus. You know who that is, Kenny?
No.
I don't think so.
And David Prowse.
He was in, yes. He was the guy. He was a muscle guy in Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? I did know that. That.
He's the guy who gets beats up by Tom Cruise, right?
No, yeah. That's funny. Tom Cruise wasn't even born. But I heard a funny story. One year, like the second year, Peter Lupus went in to ask for a raise. And the guy goes, oh, yeah, okay, we'll talk about it. So the next day in the lobby of the agency, there were like 25 bodybuilder guys. The next day. And Peter Lupus says, you know what? I think I'm pretty happy with my contract. Oh, it is. Happened in real life.
That's called sending a message.
And they said it loud and clear.
Yeah.
And he never did anything after that, I don't think, did he? I don't know.
I don't think I ever saw him in anything else. No.
Oh, yeah. It reminds me of it, though, Tropic Thunder, when
oh my God.
He's talking when Robert Downey Jr. is referencing Rocky and Stallone. Dude. He's like, you kind of got that Rocky 3 look going to you. Or Rambo 2, I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah. Up and he's like, yeah, well, you know what? He goes, give me the goddamn map. It's not just a map away.
That's a great movie. Great, funny. It really is. It really is. Guys, we got our warning, so let's wrap up. Do you want to do any honorary Oscar nominations for the week?
Oh, Steve, go ahead. I'm thinking.
I don't have anything. You know what? I will let me, since I just got this too. Totally not related to anything. Midnight Run on 4K. This came out in 1988. This was one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a good buddy movie.
Yeah.
And I know what everyone here probably thinks of De Niro out.
And the other guy too, Charles Grodin. Yeah.
Charles Grodin. Off
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
And Charles Grodin is no longer with us, but
I think he passed away. Yeah.
yeah, I would give an honorary Oscar to either one of those in that movie. I just think it's a great kind of buddy movie, and you know, I'm excited to watch it on 4K after having just a DVD copy overall, you know, for the last 35 years. So that's my Oscar nomination is to those two guys.
Okay, so let me go ahead, Paul.
No, mine is Albert Brooks in the movie Drive. He was like the head bad guy, and remember, he didn't. I can't remember if he got nominated or didn't get nominated for that movie, but he was the hands down best supporting actor. And this guy had paid his dues in Hollywood, taken the smaller roles, and this, you know, the other guy, the thinking man's roles. He's a very talented man. I'm so sorry for you, Mr. Brooks. Big fan. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to really. I just want to make a quick comment about that movie, Midnight Run. I saw it in a movie theater, liked it, and you're right. Both guys were really, really good in that. Now, Charles Grodin, he wasn't really in a lot of movies where he had memorable roles. Probably just one or two others, maybe, but not that many. But whenever I would see him on TV being interviewed or whatever, he's funny and I kind of liked him. But then in the mid-90s, for a brief period, he was hosting a show on, I think it was MSNBC.
It's at MSNBC.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, he's like all the rest. Just a liberal, like just rejects any sort of logic or common sense and just embraces liberal nonsense. And I'm like, you know, I'm gonna still give him credit for the few good movies, but besides this, he's unwatchable. So
I'm gonna take Kenny's nomination from him and take it. And in that movie, you know who makes that movie? You both are gonna disagree. Is Yaphet Kotto makes that movie?
Oh, Midnight Run.
He has never, man. That man has never gotten his due. Worship Yaphet Kotto.
I agree.
A tour de force, and in that movie he plays like they're always taking advantage of him, and he played it low key, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
He's in 3 of the greatest movies ever made: Midnight Run, Alien, and then what's the third one?
Oh, you're gonna say no? I don't know who. Oh, Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
Oh, right. Wow.
Which is probably the second best Bond movie of all time.
Ooh, that's another argument for another day, right there. Nice one, Steve.
Hold that one for next time. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This is the Great Classic Movie Debate. If you're watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Kenny.
Oh,
I'm Steve.
Yes, don't forget to tune in next week. Until then, we'll see you later.